But no, I don't know how we always manage to make very high conversations into a non-high moment. We don't be high, bro.
No, we don't be high.
But I know, based on the comments last week, they was agreeing with me most of last week. And I ain't gonna bring up to y'all, because if y'all Christians and listening to and shit like that, apparently I was right. Jesus wasn't born in December, but we're not gonna get into that. I want to know if y'all also believe that as long as you put an egg on something, it's breakfast.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, we agreeing now.
Yeah.
Because, bitch, let me tell y'all what happens.
Like a breakfast burger has an egg on it. Like, that's, yeah.
Okay, so what if I throw an egg on oxtail? That's what I'm talking about. It's breakfast. We would have got Chinese food. Bitch, I threw an egg on that Chinese food. It was breakfast the next day.
That's fair because, yeah, I definitely had oxtail on grits.
Okay, now that's in Atlanta. That's crazy.
Shout out to Spice House Buckhead. And shout out to Keys, my homie that owns a restaurant. We love to support black businesses.
I mean, that sounds good, but
no, it's bomb.
Okay,
because the gravy is in the gravy is mixed in with the grits.
You can ask for extra oxtail gravy on the grits.
Yeah, it's a vibe.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, that sounds good. Nah, I literally do though. I put eggs on everything, and
you do, and white creamy shit.
Don't do that. Don't do that. I do actually.
You do.
Sour cream, cream cheese.
Yeah.
What else is white?
Ranch.
I don't do ranch and I don't do mayo. I do like blue cheese though.
Blue cheese, yeah, it's creamy. Milk.
I like some other creamy stuff. I don't even like milk. A bitch is lactose.
That's true.
Intolerant.
That's true.
Like I be like, nah, if I want this ice cream, baby, I gotta be in my own living room, the confines of my own house. That's when you know you old. Man. Like I know we still talk about how the McDonald's ice cream machine is always broken, but are y'all really eating that on the go? No, you're only getting it to take it home, right? Because I feel like me and all my friends lactose. A bitch just ain't eating no ice cream just while riding around in the car. Bitch, the bubble guts.
I prefer an icy. Like I like an icy. I like a fruit flavored, like a fruit ice, like a shaved ice kind of thing. I'll do that before I'll do ice cream. Like I
could dig it.
Milkshakes and all that shit.
Yeah, clearly, y'all, we are starting this pod and a bitch is hungry.
Yeah, sorry.
I just landed this morning back from Vegas, but let's go ahead.
That's why she sounds like that.
Listen, baby, woo-wee. A bitch was waking up drinking, but you know what? Before we get into our catch up, because we have a lot to talk about, I was in.
Where were you?
Bitch, I don't know, some club, but a bitch was drunk, and they played this song, and I said, "Oh, this is how we starting the pod this week."
Okay.
So I just want to shout out to Texas. This is how we get. Oh shit! Hold on. It wasn't on there. There we go. There we go, baby.
You got $1 in your pocket, a 20 in your wallet. See me, I'm stacking money. Matter of fact, I let you watch it get big. Get big. You ain't got enough money. You ain't got enough money. Get big. Get big. Get big. 150, bitch, I don't exaggerate. This is a game for ballers, only
When
ballers.
your manager trying to come at you and tell you what to do, they ain't got enough money. Tell them get big.
Dummies throwing money, now they paper gone. Idiot, what are you? Coach, we need a W. And this nigga game suck, I think it's time to substitute. Them ain't really diamonds in your ear, somebody hustled you. Taking all your revenue, boy, you don't know what to do. Say you better double hustle.
What happened to him?
I don't know.
I need him to come back.
That came on in the club?
I love me some Doro. Not me wanting him to come back and don't know how to say his name, but I don't know how to say
come back so you can tell us how to say your name.
Yeah, please. No. But welcome, guys. We're here again, girl. We is here again.
I'm happy to be
another
back.
week. It's your girl Mandii B. You already know what it motherfucking is.
I love how Mandii B introducing herself every week.
I can't introduce, because if some people are listening for the first time, I can't just assume they know me.
Yes,
like we get it. You're Grammy Award winning. Everyone knows you, Bridget.
No, that's not true. There's a lot of people that don't know me.
Oh, well, why you don't introduce yourself?
I don't know. I
feel like they got it from the description of the episode or something. I think we got to start.
Well, I mean, they're on my YouTube page if they're watching. So,
but what if they're listening?
Well, if they're listening, our names are in the description.
You think everybody read the description?
No. And you know what?
Right.
That's stupid. That's ignorant of me because there are people that follow me that have been following me for years and still spell my name with 2 T's and an E. So
see what I mean? So we gotta
like
start
the name is right
ourselves.
here, guys. Like my name is right there. Like it's on my Twitter. It's my Twitter. Like
well, now that I think about it, it took us a long time to even acknowledge when we had friends with benefits
That's
and
true.
introducing them.
That's true. That's also why I feel like
we gotta get better at that. We gotta get better at that. I think you also don't introduce yourself because. Bitch, we be with each other every goddamn day. So when you sit here, I think it's just us talking, and you be like,
Mandii B, and I be like, girl, I know, and it's not. It's like, I mean, yes.
Where do you want to start?
On a hat, you know.
Where do you want to start though? Because last week we did a lot of things together. I guess. Wait, let me give a round of applause real quick.
We have to.
We want to give a round of applause to Rory and Mal.
That's right.
We attended their very first live show at Sony Hall. And it was great. It was also dope because they brought St. John out.
They sure did.
And we also went to the St. John concert at Terminal 5 on, bitch, what day was that? Bitch, all my days. Wednesday. It was Wednesday. Mm-hmm. It was Wednesday. He took his shirt off there. He didn't take his shirt off at the Rory Mal show.
No, he kept his puffer jacket on.
He sure did. And the girl in the front row was just like, take it off. And he was like, I am not taking my clothes off.
I was like, that is sexual harassment. I was like, damn.
Oh.
Might be.
Yeah, it might be. Might be.
Yeah, I'm very proud of Rory Mal. It was interesting, though, because I feel like the audience was not as interactive as I thought they would be.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, they did the Q&A, and all of the women were asking questions about Rory and Mal's sex lives and their dicks.
Yes.
And the men were asking questions, like, we're just kind of asking random questions about, you know, well, how do you feel about... Yeah, it was just weird. It was like,
yeah, the questions. I mean, it's one of those things that I've experienced too, like doing the live shows. And for any podcaster listening, because I've been to a lot of live shows, and when you allow the audience to ask questions, I don't know if it's nerves. I don't know if they really even have a question, or maybe they just want to be a part of the show. But it's a lot of dead air. It's a lot of wasted space. Shout out to Peach too, because he would start playing. He would start playing the Jeopardy music over because the questions were just so long-winded. Sometimes it's like, girl, get to the question already.
I was just really impressed by, first of all, Mal came. Mal was on 1,000.
We got to give him a round of applause for real. Let's go.
It was so dope to see him. He's usually too cool. You know what I mean?
Too cool for school.
Sitting back, real calm, collected. And we got a chance to, we caught a glimpse of his personality for real. And I love that. I love watching that on stage. So congrats to Rory and Mal. Y'all really killed that shit, man.
Yeah. And if you haven't yet, check out their pod. They're actually on my other pod this week.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to go listen to Rory and Mal on Horrible Decisions, check that out. And I also want to say thank you to DC. I have a live show in DC this Friday, and it is sold out at the Howard Theater. So I'm excited.
A round of applause, Howard Theater.
I'll take it. I'm actually excited because Howard Theater is probably by far my favorite venue that I've performed at thus far. Sony Hall is up there in like top 3, but Howard Theater is just amazing. It's like 2 stories. Like you have the crowd at the top, crowd at the bottom. They can eat. It's like a dinner and a show.
What's number 1 for you? What's your number 1 venue?
Howard.
But when you said top 3, Sony's top 3. So Sony 2?
So Sony would probably be 2. And then...
Is there anywhere like in Atlanta that you liked?
No, not yet. We actually were supposed to do Center Stage last year.
Okay.
But then COVID happened. And we did, and this year we're doing the Eastern in December. New venue. So no clue. What is my other favorite venue? It's weird because we started off small and now we're getting bigger. Yeah. So we did a lot of comedy show venues. Yeah. And those are always, a lot more intimate. Like we sold out Caroline's. We sold out Hollywood something. So yeah, not anything that I haven't. I don't know. It's weird because I have a lot of venues I don't like, but I ain't gonna say their names. But a lot of them I do not like. But I'm excited just to be back on the road doing shows again. I don't know. It's just great. I really like it. It's funny because when I was in Vegas, so I went to Vegas this weekend and ran into a ton of fans. I sent Bridget a video. I was like literally taking pictures at Mandalay Bay with all of these people. And so these white guys were like, okay, I just have to know, who are you? Because clearly you're someone famous. Like all of these girls just keep wanting to take pictures with you. And I was like, I'm a nobody. But it was really dope to just see. And so many people were like, well, when are you doing a show in Vegas? When are you doing a show in Vegas?
Sounds like we got to get to Vegas, y'all.
Yeah, that part. That part. What about your weekend? Because I wasn't
What
here.
did I do this weekend? My weekend was kind of low key. I went and visited. I went and hung out and caught up with some friends, and then yesterday went to a documentary screening of a film called Attica, which for those of y'all who don't know, Attica is a huge correctional facility, prison, honestly, in like way upstate New York. And there was it was a historical event in like 1971 where the inmates took over the prison. And took over one of the yards, one of the blocks that was there. And I'm not gonna ruin the movie for you, but it's the same old racism, martial law, government officials, wanting to maintain law and order, shit like that. Definitely a good watch, definitely a heavy watch. Trigger warning for anybody does not do well with gory images and stuff like that. It's definitely
I thought you were just gonna say like
it's intense.
Jail and prison.
Well, that too.
Because I ain't gonna hold you. I told you, I used to date a guy. I referred to him as Felon Bay. And I remember when he came over.
I remember you telling me about
I used to like watching Locked Up Raw. And that nigga came over one day, bitch. I had to change it to Shallow Man so goddamn quick. Because I was like, I don't know if he wants to watch Locked Up Raw.
Yeah.
Like the nigga did 8 years. I'm sure he don't want to see that shit.
And it's really.
And I used to be like, oh, tell me about the scar on your face.
You are ridiculous.
Did you fight? Was it for commissary?
No, I mean this was like 1971 was like the height of the Black Panther movement was beginning, and well, not beginning. It was already in full motion, but a lot of the spread of the movement was happening very quickly. And I think they had Bobby Seals, who was, I guess, one down from Fred Hampton, came and spoke and didn't really stay for too long. You know what I mean? I think we forget sometimes, and it was a Black female director. So shout out to Tracy. And D-Ray McKesson actually was who invited us and hosted the event at the Independent Film Center in the West Village. And I think the part that we forget sometimes in living just daily lives is just how many people, how many people of color are behind bars and are incarcerated and forgotten about, but also not treated well. You know what I mean? And I think that was the mission of the rebellion, right? When they decided to take over the prison, it was to make demands that had nothing to do with anything but human rights, but just having suitable living conditions, having more than one roll of toilet paper for a month. And the demands were never met. So, I
mean, we saw that happen a lot during COVID as well. Like where people were just living in unhumane environments. Like even they didn't have heat. I believe here in one of the New York prisons, and Yandy definitely went and spoke about that. I mean, it's one of those things where I feel bad because I really do get almost sunken into all of the prison shows. Like Orange is the New Black, of course, is more of a comedy, but it's still like, whoa, there's so many people whose lives are like this. There's so many people who wake up day to day and they're in a cell smaller than this room. And it's just really fascinating to know like that's the lives of so many people. Damn.
Yeah. So it was an intense film, but I believe it's on we watched it at a movie theater, but it is available to watch on Showtime, I believe. Awesome. Showtime or Netflix. And
I don't shout out too many podcasts. This is not an ad, but if you are into prison stories as well, like myself, Ear Hustle is probably one of my favorite podcasts. Mm-hmm. So it is narrated by both an inmate who now is out of prison, but if you go all the way back to the beginning, they literally sit there and talk about pets in prison and the food and cellmates. And one was really, really, really fascinating. They had a woman who was sex trafficked by a pimp go in and speak to a man who was in prison for being a pimp. And so you hear both sides, and it's phenomenal. The production of it is really, really good. And it's at San Quentin Prison in California, I believe. And it's just an amazing, amazing podcast. We do have a lot to get to, goddamn. We have a lot, but not a lot at all, because we're about to read the women this week while also trying not to shit on men at the same time. But apparently, the word for today is accountability. But I feel like we use that word a lot on this fucking show. So I don't know. Do you want to?
We use accountability and hypocrisy a lot. I think those are both the two words that we tend to overuse and overapply. But
we do. Do you want to get into all of the relationship girly shit, or do you want to start with maybe some music and talk Verzuz? Because we got a new Verzuz announcement.
Listen, I'm going to LA this week.
We got a new Verzuz announcement.
And I'm looking at these tickets for this Chaka Khan and Stephanie Mills Verzuz in LA. And they're expensive, bitch.
Girl, I told you I paid almost $300 for Ja Rule and Fat Joe.
Yeah,
so
this was like
I can imagine.
$160 a ticket.
Oh, damn. I would have took that price over motherfucking the fucking Ja Rule. New York. Why y'all be raping us? Why? Well, who are you going for in that? Is it more of a celebration or
Chaka Khan? Chaka Khan.
Chaka Khan, baby. Chaka Khan.
But also, like, I'm not, and of course, my partner, he's older than me, so he was playing a bunch of. I only know a couple Stephanie Mills records, and I wasn't super familiar with Stephanie Mills' catalog. But more importantly, I didn't know that they were Stephanie Mills songs. You know how you hear a song, you're like, oh my God, I know this song.
Right.
But you don't really necessarily pinpoint who sings it. But it was definitely some good records. So we were trying to go see that in LA, but.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I am having a difficult time with the Verzuz that is coming on December 2nd.
Oh, which one is that?
It is 3 6 Mafia.
Oh.
Versus Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Wait a minute.
Listen. So Bone Thugs, I actually had the pleasure of seeing them live. I grew up a huge Bone Thugs fan. Crossroads.
That's so random.
I know. Because I was like, ooh, they talk so fast. Ooh. And Crazy Bone was fine. Oh, give it a little chocolate. So I was like, damn, okay, we got this song. We already know when this drops. And I'm like, okay, this could be a winner. Then, let me tell you what was on my MySpace page. Can you guess what song was on my MySpace page? This one. We're not against rappers, but we are against those thugs. You know this song? This was on my MySpace page.
I haven't heard it in a really long time.
It's the Thuggish Ruggers
Hold on. And if y'all are listening to this at your desk, jam one more time, because we know what this one is.
Wow.
You know what this one is, baby?
Of course.
So, I'm like, ooh, Bone Thugs, baby. Duh. I love all of these. And y'all, come on. Which is crazy. Because I really like this song before I had bills. When I was a child, this was
a catchy hook.
This
is all it was. It had no symbolism whatsoever, right? Now,
I'm not excited about the first of the month. I'm mad that they made the first of the month so exciting. And
get up. And I'm like, no.
Why?
No.
Get up. They already withdrew my funds.
Adulting is
They didn't
ghetto.
even wait. It came out at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
They did not wait. But, so I'm like, okay. This is Bone Thugs. Bone Thugs got this, right? Then I went into the 3 6 essentials, and I was like, hold on. Do any of those beat this one? Yeah. Come on.
For the first time, it's going down history, baby.
Oscar
New 3 6 Mafia.
No,
featuring
Oscar
MJC, Young Buck. It's a Tennessee thing. We gotta stay.
Real quick, I know all of the nieces and nephews listening are like, y'all are jamming, because this is all of our shit right here. But then, for those of y'all who do not know, and I think this is a Southern thing, let me know if y'all listen to this up here. This is probably one of my favorite 3 6 songs, and don't make fun of me, but of course it is, right? Can you guess?
No, I don't want to guess. I want you to play it.
All right.
I believe this. This makes so much sense.
Chicken head. Chicken head. Chicken head. Chicken head.
I ain't know what Chickenhead meant. So this came out, I'm looking at the time it came out. So I was like in 5th grade. And I'm jamming to this, and I don't know if y'all, like, when you were in school, you had like these basketball tournaments during PE, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it used to be like 3-on-3, you know, and you got to pick your name. So they wouldn't let us do Chickenheads. Chickenheads is we wanted that. I don't know why, because clearly we didn't know what a chickenhead was.
Right.
So the coach was like, no, you can't use that. So guess what our name was?
What was your name?
Project Chicks.
So they wouldn't let y'all use Chickenheads, but they let y'all use Project Chicks?
Get me
your
a
teacher needs to be
project
fired.
chick.
Your teacher needs to be
Give
fired.
me a hood rat.
Fired.
Listen, this is how I grew up,
Fired.
baby.
Yeah, but they wouldn't let you be Chickenheads and let you be Project Chicks? Like,
Yeah,
that's better?
I mean, the projects. I mean, what?
There's nothing wrong with that, but there's also nothing wrong with being Chickenheads either.
Wait, there's not?
No.
No? Chickenheads is okay?
I think it's fine.
Can
You
we
were
get
in
a
fifth
definition
grade.
of a chickenhead?
Let's look it up. You were in 5th grade.
A chickenhead, ain't that like, it's because they give a head? Like, chickens go
Chickenhead
like this. So that's
definition.
probably why. It's a sexual term, bro. You got to look up Urban Dictionary.
It's a hoochie. That's what it says. Chickenhead was defined as a hoochie or fallacious woman.
See, we couldn't be that in the 5th grade, bro.
I guess.
We couldn't be that in the 5th grade. That's hilarious. Yeah, they were not letting us be hoochies, but they were letting us be project chicks.
The Urban Dictionary. Who contributes to the Urban Dictionary? We need to discuss
We need to
this.
have you up in there.
A
You would-
female who likes cock.
Wait.
A female who likes giving head, bobbing up and down like a chicken. A
I
dance
told
move.
you.
Not to be confused
yeah.
with chickens or chicks, which is not a derogatory term.
That's hilarious.
A chicken head, you can find one anywhere or in the hood on the street. It's a bird that you can take home and wear out.
What?
Who is writing the Urban Dictionary?
What? That is hilarious.
Oh my God.
Hold on. I want to give y'all one more 3-6 song.
Remember, I've been popping my collar, popping my collar, popping my collar. Ever since I can remember, I've been working these hoes, and they better put my money in my hand. Ever since I can remember,
What
I've
I
been
tell you,
popping
December 2nd,
This verse is
I'm
going to be
supposed to be in
great.
LA
This
because
is
I
gonna
have
be
a show.
good verses.
This is going to be
It's
an
gonna be a
amazing.
good verses.
One more, because this is what changed all of our culture, if you don't know.
You old pussy ass, cake ass, punk ass, trick ass, suck ass, fuck ass,
Hey.
stick in the boot ass, KY jelly
Sticking the
packing
booty
ass,
ass.
nigga,
I
you better
love
get your
when
bitch
they
ass
talk
up
like
off
that.
the street, nigga. You
Fuck
got
ass,
5
pussy
seconds
asshole.
to get your hating ass up out here, cause there's some trill ass niggas in this motherfucker.
Yeah, nigga, y'all know the motherfucking scope. Y'all non-snorters, non-smokers, non-sippers. Get the fuck up out of here, bitch.
Go
Niggas
ahead.
some sipping ass, pouring up ass, smoking ass,
Real quick,
getting
if I
high ass.
became a
niggas.
rapper, I'm starting my song like that. Just know, whether it's about a chocolate starfish or not. Okay? Because we're not playing with you.
Now pull it up, nigga.
Dipping on some scissors. Dipping on some 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 scissors. Dipping on
When
some
I tell
scissors.
you,
It's gonna be a
this
good
is
verses.
going to be an
It's gonna be a good
amazing,
verses.
spectacular verses, and
Yeah.
this is not a verses pod, but I didn't think that. I thought that it was kind of dwindling down to not really being able to keep me entertained, baby. They was getting down into like niggas that was performing in the 60s and shit. I don't know. I was surprised they was even still alive. So I'm like, oh, they going back, way back. And now I'm glad that they're going back to my motherfucking upbringing. This is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I also like when they pick
And I'm just going to say it's going to be a tie.
I also like when they pick like members, like musicians to participate that are from a region that make
Yes.
it cultural, right? The generational thing is tough because
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's a lot of people on the internet, like people who would have appreciated Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight are not necessarily the people that are going to be tuned in on Triller. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I think there's a generational gap. I appreciate it nonetheless, right? But I do think that it's great when, like, we've seen some really dope, you know what I mean? The way that Ja Rule and Fat Joe was such a New York moment.
It was.
Dipset and the Lox was such a New York moment. Watching Too Short and E40 was such an incredible moment for the Bay.
That's why I wanted fucking Trina and
You know what
Kaya,
I
but
mean?
y'all ain't going to give it to us.
Culturally, I just think that there's so many different cities that really encapsulate hip hop and R&B music in a way that's just it's just really beautiful to see. And I like this is gonna be great. Even though I believe both Bone Thugs and Harmony and Harmony are from Ohio.
Ohio, yeah. And
They're Midwestern, but
3-6 is Tennessee, South.
it's South and Midwest. But I mean, it's still. I just think it's great. 3-6 Mafia is like quintessential. Like
I told you,
South.
I don't really know much about the Midwest outside of like the St. Lunatics. Like, I just think they all like put Band-Aids under their eyes or something. I don't know. I don't know much.
Detroit is also Midwest, so
Detroit is its own country.
Eminem, D12.
That is its own place, baby.
Royce, like that. They have their own. Detroit has their own sound.
They do.
Chicago is also Midwest.
And so
Chicago also has their own.
And that's
sound.
why I also don't even classify Texas as the South or Mid, because they have their own whole style as well.
Yeah,
they did the whole chop and screwed.
That's very true.
So, yeah, I'm excited about this. Do you have a prediction?
No, I mean, I don't know 20 songs from either group, to be honest. I don't know 20 songs from either group, so it could go either way for me. I don't
right.
know.
I mean, I don't know if I know 20, but that was just the starting 5. So I feel like
if they let Juicy get some of his solo shit off,
right.
then of course I think they'll
Some of the guys from Bone Thugs also did some solo things as well, right?
I mean, I would assume so.
I mean, shit, they did something. What did they do? A song with like Phil Collins? Like, niggas started a crossover really late in their career, like, and got some really good records. So
might could be.
It's
gonna be good.
All right. Well, bitch, you ready to get to the bullshit? I'm gonna lean back on this because I ain't really got to be in my laptop too much for this. I mean, except from asking them things like this.
Are you not ashamed of yourself?
Are you
not
embarrassed? This is really
embarrassing.
Y'all know where we get into with that shit.
A lot of things are embarrassing today.
I mean, we have to. I'm not gonna lie. We got hella tweets this morning. Like, I know this is some shit that y'all not gonna care about, but as the morning moved forward, I was like, there's a lot of underlying things for us to dig into as aunties and as mature women.
Yes.
Let's talk about it. So y'all know we're about to talk about DaniLeigh and Da Baby. Basically, it started last night. She went on live where the cops had been called by Da Baby, pretty much to kick her out at about 3 a.m. with their 3-month-old. And God, it has spiraled from there. Da Baby has released his statements. Dani has released more of her statements. The baby's baby mama, Mimi, did got into the mix. And I don't know, where did you kind of want to start with this? Because it's definitely, there's a lot to unfold, and I want to make sure we hit all the points that we were talking about.
I want to take a nap.
Right.
I want to take a nap because a lot of this is exhausting. And honestly, it's the bottom line with all of this shit is why are y'all on the fucking internet?
That part. We start oversharing. Over fucking sharing.
But it's beyond the overshare. Now it's to embarrass, now it's to humiliate, now it's to defame, now it's to, and I just, at this point, it's like when do we grow up? When do we grow up? When do we decide that, part of being a good parent is not embarrassing yourselves or your children on the internet?
That part.
Like, now that there's babies and children involved, right? Like, we're watching adult people literally prioritize their drama over their children, and I'm baffled by it, to be honest. And I'm not a parent, but I'm also aware and have friends that are parents, close friends that are parents. I'm a godparent, so I understand the importance of prioritizing the well-being, the safety, the care, the energy of a baby, of a kid. And I just feel like there's a lot of activity going on with these adults that is not good for the children.
Yeah, one of the most recent videos that was posted, he got on live and she was still at the house, and he pretty much to her face was calling her a side chick and was like, "Yo, I was never with you. You were never my girl. You were always a side chick." And you hear her in the background like, "Oh, word, I was a side chick, but I met your family. Word, I was a side chick, but I was in your house. Word, I was a side chick, but XYZ elemental P." And it's just like, so then she goes on a rant and goes to her Instagram and starts posting this timeline of videos and photos of him. And here we go to this conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, get your pens and papers out, please. We are about to let you know what a side chick is and what actions do not make your relationship any more than what you may think it is. And we can start off by motherfucking meeting the folks. meeting the friends, being around someone else's family or friends does not certify your relationship to be any more than what you think it means.
That's true.
For one. She also mentioned they took trips together. Bitch, I'd have been flued out by hella married niggas. That don't mean I was with that nigga. I was with that nigga for the weekend. But like a trip doesn't mean anything. And what's crazy is we didn't get to this point of the conversation with academics and Brittany Renner last week.
Right.
But there was a conversation regarding what a side chick is.
Right.
And it pretty much was not being claimed.
Right.
Is what it was. Now, I want to ask you now, because I think in this era of social media, the word claimed, to me, a lot of women feel like, well, he put me on his story. He posted me on the gram. That solidifies our relationship because the baby definitely acknowledged her.
Yeah.
Publicly.
They were everywhere together for about a year.
So do you believe her or him?
I don't think it matters. I think the overarching issue with all of this is that whether or not he showed up for you in a moment, there has to be a consistency. Like, y'all don't know who these people are. Y'all having babies, y'all moving in, y'all changing your jobs, changing your cities, changing your like y'all doing all of this stuff to be in a relationship with somebody you don't really know. Like DaniLeigh was saying she sold her house. Girl.
Yeah, and is now living in his house where he was about to kick her out.
And also, I'll bring it back to a point. And you and I have conflicting opinions and conflicting ideas around the institute of marriage, right? A lot of y'all have it backwards and fucked up about marriage. Having a baby with somebody is a permanent fucking commitment, and maybe not for the men, obviously, because it doesn't hit the same when a woman is pregnant and a woman is carrying a baby for 9 months and has the baby. And there's that emotional connection, and then also the nurturing and the mothering that comes with is not usually more full time than the father if they're not in a relationship. So it's not even really a commitment, but you're tied to that woman forever.
That's what I was gonna say. I did agree with you. I mean, of course, my idea of what marriage is one thing, but a lot of men don't go into marriage not only because of the commitment, but because of the financial ties, which is unfortunate.
But
because
you're paying
so
child
are you
support.
with I was about to say the same thing happens with having a child.
I think the reason I emphasize the marriage point so much is because very rarely do you see a man that will show up for a woman and commit to a woman in that capacity not be a good father. It's almost never the other way around. Like, you can be a good father and be a shit partner.
Yeah.
You can be a good father and be an absolutely horrible person in a relationship. You could be a narcissist. You could be completely selfish and emotionally negligent, emotionally unavailable and immature, but still manage to show up to some capacity for your kid. Whereas if you are dealing with a man who decides that marriage and a partnership and that type of foundation is the priority and is the important thing to commit to, if a child comes into that environment, if both parties want that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
If they want to build their family that way, it's pretty unlikely that person's not going to keep showing up as a dad or even if he changes his mind about the relationship.
Right.
I just think my emphasis on the commitment to a woman is because a lot of us as women settle for being loved and never chosen. And sometimes there's more to be said about...
Wait, say that again?
Sometimes women settle for being loved and never chosen.
Oh,
like you
talk your shit, Bridget. Let's go.
You tie yourself, you tether yourself to and anchor yourself to a fleeting emotion and not to any level of foundation that looks like anything solid.
Right. I mean, he wasn't there for you during your pregnancy, and then you have the baby and you choose to move in and live with him for the first 3 months, and now he's kicking you out 3 months into being a mother. There was never stability.
Even bigger than that, going back and forth with another, and we said this about the summer situation, going back and forth with another woman that has a baby with this man that you're with. Y'all all look crazy as adults.
Dumb as fuck.
Y'all all look crazy, and there's kids involved, right? So,
That's so dumb. You are really dumb, for real.
And in my mind, I think the part that again I go back to is where are the older women in these spaces? Where's Danny? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I said that even when she was going through all the stuff she went through last year around the music and that stupid ass Yellowbone song. Like, where was her team? Now I'm really looking like, yo, thank God for my girlfriends, because I got a lot of women and men too that care about me and that are friends that became family, chosen family, that would call me in my moments of wilding out and be like, nah, this ain't it, sis. Get the fuck off the internet. What are you doing? Hey, what do you need? Let me show up for you. Let me pull up. We keep seeking this validation and this support on the internet with people we don't know, because the people that we think we know, we don't really know either.
But we talked about this on Patreon, and I think it still goes back to not many of us grew up with seeing a healthy family or a healthy relationship. And a lot of the times our mothers are living through us and they want us to. So if we can get a rich rapper or land someone where, okay, well, you're better off than where I was with your father. Like, she could also be getting pushed to be with this man.
She was a rising star already. She had a #1 record.
Yeah.
She already had her own career and money and tour and everything else. Like, she didn't need to be baby mama number whatever. Like,
yeah, I don't even know what number it is, but also,
but you understand what I'm saying? Like, this, it's no
none.
shade to the other women that have children with him, but this was a girl that was already, or whose career was already established, and she was already doing her own thing. So for this to have derailed her and sidelined her in such a way that we're now watching her emotionally unravel on the internet, the same way we did with Summer, is devastating to me. And I hate that the women, especially women in our industry who respond, are responding on Twitter and Instagram. No.
Yeah.
Get that girl's number. Call her. Show up for her in real time and in real life, because this social media shit ain't real. It's not real life. It's not real life. It's
just hard, because if I even look at the other women in the industry, I mean, you have Lala that went through her cheating debacle with Mello. You have Halle Berry, who's beautiful, but who's been cheating on with all of her relationships. We see what Will and Jada are going through with their relationship. So I just say, if you think about it, who do they have to reach out to? I'll be honest with you. I'm one of those where I would never take relationship advice from some of my friends, because baby, you don't seem to be doing very well in your own situation. I don't want to take advice from that. And so if I'm looking at all of maybe these other celebrity women as well, or say she grew up in a single parent household, who do you reach out to? We all have sat here, or at least the women in my life, the friends in my life, and have been through some shitty ass relationships and either stayed, didn't know how to get out, had a baby by one. I just had this conversation with a homegirl.
So maybe y'all should stop buying fucking jewelry and matching Cartier bracelets and go get a therapist.
Yeah. That part too.
Spend money on that instead. The part that this is all just very upsetting to me, because I'm tired of watching women go back and forth also with each other.
It's embarrassing.
Over these men that really don't give a fuck. And by the way, just because you financially provide and you are present for these children, how you speak to these women who are their mothers, how you handle them, speaks way more to your character than being a good dad. How you handle your baby mamas says more about you than how you show up for your kids, because part of showing up for your kids is having respect for the women that push them out.
That part. I was actually going to say too, just based off of even my own experience, money, child support, the name brand gifts, when your child gets older, they realize that that's all you were there for. Like I told you, I have a real weird relationship with men, because my dad was an ATM. Literally, my dad growing up never had any really deep conversations with me about men, about sex, about relationships.
Right.
I saw him have multiple girlfriends my whole upbringing.
Right.
And then he would just throw in my mom's face the money he would be able to spend on us.
Yeah.
But so to me, even the idea of financially showing up, like I know we see the baby post his kids in Gucci outfits and shit like that. Money does not make you a good father either. Paying your child support on time does not make you a good father either. And I know y'all talk about these celebrities that are fucking paying out the wazoo money for child support. A lot of y'all niggas is giving your baby mothers $200 a week. It's barely covering fucking daycare. She also has to pay for clothes, for food. Now, because there's a child, she can't just go and get a studio or a 1-bedroom apartment. She has to start it 2 bedrooms, which costs more money. Like, so for anybody listening, and I don't want to say the regular niggas, but in real life, the majority of men aren't paying more than $1,500 a month for child support. Like, come on.
And that's also because a lot of women are doing y'all a favor by not taking y'all stupid asses to court.
That part.
But that's a conversation for another day.
That part. And when they do take you to court, just know it's not even on some malicious shit.
Right.
You probably aren't showing up without getting the court involved. And that's a whole other conversation. I had a conversation with that recently on my other podcast. And he felt as though, as a black man, he was being put into the system by being put on child support. And he took it to heart that way. And I was like, the idea that a lot of these men just even want their baby mamas hanging, like, now I got to come and beg you. Sometimes the baby moms, when they see that you're not willing to show up financially as a father or as a partner, let me go ahead and cut all ties and just send the check in the mail. We ain't even got to talk. Take the kid on the weekends when you need them. But a lot of the court things, I think a lot of men see getting them involved with child support in the court as a malicious thing, when in reality, it's really like, nah, we just gonna make this easier on all of us.
And sometimes, and to be fair, sometimes it is malicious.
I mean, yes.
Sometimes it is.
Two things can be true.
Two things can be true.
Two things can be true.
But I don't know. My whole point goes back to, ladies, if you want to be a mother, then that is 100% your choice and your prerogative. But please, be more mindful about who you are deciding to have a child with, because it will affect that child. Like the impact on a kid when there's turbulence between the parents is not discovered until they're an adult and they're fucking up in adult life or in their adolescence. Because it was a trickle down effect from shit that they saw with their parents. You know what I mean? And the older we get, the more we realize like how much we don't want to be like our parents, how much we don't want to be, you know what I'm saying? We don't want to be carbon copies, but a lot of that stems from the trauma that we were privy to, or the trauma that we witnessed that our parents went through.
But there's help now. With what happened with the situation, Danny explains that he got really upset because she ordered Plan B to the apartment, and she wrote in one of her captions that he's still just been busting up in her. And that's crazy to find out, because we also found out this morning that the first baby mama is currently pregnant now. And so it's just like, at what point are you going to be held accountable? You letting this man bust in you. It still takes two, sis. It still takes two. And just because a man wants to fuck you raw doesn't mean he wants you to have his baby again. Doesn't mean he wants to be with you. He sat there and
I want to go back to the side chick conversation.
Yes.
Because I think that if nothing else, right? If nothing else, this situation is an example of the fact that a lot of men don't see any value in women or keeping women around or taking care of women unless they have a baby with them.
Okay, talk it.
And I feel like, you know, what we discuss a lot of times about relationships, right? This goes back to speaking to the same women who would call someone like a Russell Wilson lame and corny. And well, you're not looking to get married and have children, but there are women who look at a man like a Russell Wilson who shows up for Sierra in every capacity,
for sure,
and call him lame, and
then go and let the baby,
and then go
bust him up,
and then have a baby with somebody that doesn't give a fuck,
right,
one way or the other,
right,
who would literally, while their baby is in the same space, call you a side chick and all this other kind of shit on the internet for millions of people to see. Ugh. So I think we have to start having real conversations as women with each other about what foundations really look like, because a lot of women out here bringing babies into the world, they have no business doing it with these men. No business.
Yep.
It's upsetting.
And
it's really upsetting.
And I mean, we've said it too. Believe someone in who they are when they show you. I think the same thing. London was him,
but also
Summer.
it takes time, right? We're watching these things unfold and transpire in like a year's time. You don't really know somebody that well in a first year, right, especially in entertainment. I'm telling you this firsthand, being someone in entertainment. I know how difficult it is to prioritize quality time, to get into a habit and a routine. It's a lot easier if you're a math teacher and you're dating a fireman.
Bitch, it's a lot easier during COVID. Bitch, last year was the first time I really was able to sit down and get to know someone. Yes.
Because you had time. Yes. But also, there was no room for cap. Because y'all couldn't be out here perpetrating like, until everybody got their PPP loans, and then it was a free for all.
And that's why
crab legs for everybody.
That's why they're all getting locked up now. But I mean, I'll be honest with you too now. Like, I'm back dating, and I just met this guy. He works Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
And has the weekends off.
It's a routine.
Yeah, but I literally don't have the time, because now I'm like, okay, we met 2 weeks ago, and I wanted to see him. I said, you better see me in 2 weeks. My availability hasn't allowed me to even see him.
But that's my point.
And I'm just like,
that's my point. When you're in a routine with somebody, it's a lot easier to get to know someone, because you're seeing a consistency of patterns from the gate. You're dealing with somebody that is in an industry that does not allow for that, where it's literally the antithesis of routine, of monotony. I can't even speak.
Go ahead with your big words.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not. It's not
monochromatic.
The same.
Monogamy. Monogamy. Whatever.
Mahogany. So, like, it's true. I feel like it's so much harder to get to know someone. You know what I mean? I talked to briefly. I entertained. I'm not even gonna say talk to. I hate the term talk to. I entertained somebody a couple years ago that was in sports. I'll say that. And
he was catching balls.
His schedule was really unconventional. So it was very difficult to see. Like, the routine for him was everything that was related to his job, but it was still all over the place. So there was no real time to see like there was no consistency of patterns other than the inconsistency. And so at that point, what can you find value in somebody where their sense of stability is really derivative of chaos?
Right.
And so, especially with someone like the baby, who clearly, as we've seen in the last year, is constantly puts himself in turbulent situations and positions and doesn't care about it. It's kind of, it should be very telling. And I mean, I say that, we said it last week and I'll say it again. And I'm speaking from experience now, dating someone and being in a relationship with someone that is a father, a very active father. How someone shows up for these children and the women that they have children with speaks volumes about their character. How you handle these women speaks volumes about your character. If you cannot handle these women with respect, DaniLeigh included, because now she has a child with this man. So you need to put some respect on that girl's name, no matter how childish, no matter how immature, no matter how blind in love she might be. Put some respect on that girl's name. She had a baby. You know what I mean? And she's now it's 3 months. Postpartum depression is a real thing.
A whole ass thing.
So there's a lot going on right now simultaneously. And I'm watching this. The only thing that's been consistent that we've seen on social media, sadly, is the fact that it's just he doesn't care. And a lot of these people just don't care.
But this leads me to something. Y'all know I be in the Twitter streets. And I connected the two. Mm-hmm. So Adele just recently did an interview. Let me see who she did it for. She did an interview for Rolling Stone, and she talks about how her last relationship, she didn't really know who she was. She wasn't really happy. She said, I didn't really know myself. I thought I did. I don't know if it was because of my Saturn return or if it was because I was well and truly heading into my 30s, but I just didn't like who I was. And she actually talks about her relationship now with Rich Paul, and she described it as incredible, open-hearted, and easiest. And I want to bring up a thread. Shout out to my homeboy Reed. He's at RVA Reed and on Twitter, and he brought up a whole thing that I wanted to talk about, maybe how we even view relationships as women, because maybe this is where Danny saw it. Maybe this is where Mimi, his other baby mama, saw it. Maybe this is what Summer saw. He said, I really hope that churches aren't teaching women that it's ungodly to get out of marriages or relationships in this point that aren't working. He said that misery isn't a virtue. And what's crazy is in this thread, so many women are like, wow, it is crazy though. They teach you not only in the church, but as women that you kind of have to fight for what you want. You kind of have to stick through the bullshit so that he knows you will ride or die, so that he knows that you're a real one. Someone right here said that she once had Sunday school teachers say that even if a man is a drunk or abusive, he's still the head of household, and and as a dutiful wife, you need to pray more for him. And I'm just thinking that even when I was like early on into my relationship, it took a whole year and a half for us to even see a bump. And all everyone kept doing was like, oh, well, it's still puppy love. It's still puppy love. But I'm like, but I know you when you was fucking with this nigga for 3 months and he was putting you through hell in the first 3 months of knowing him.
Right.
And I just wanted to say that I really don't think that a relationship is worth having if it's tumultuous in the beginning.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Why? Talk to me.
Because I think sometimes what we view as conflict is really miscommunication and learning each other. You don't know a person yet. That's why when we talked about this on Patreon, I was like, what are your non-negotiables? What are non-negotiables for you? What are actual red flags that you stop and say, nah, this ain't it. This ain't gonna work for me?
One should be the baby mama drama.
Right.
For sure.
That's
for sure,
100%
especially in the case where a lot of baby mamas have the conflicting narrative as well, where they don't believe they're the baby mama. They don't believe they're the side chick. They believe they priority. They believe they're the main. They believe I have his child. He come and see me. I still cook for him. He still nutted me. We still fuck. So even if there's not a real relationship there, that's where all this baby mama drama a lot of the time comes.
I agree, but I do think that in some situations, depending on, it doesn't matter what the dynamic ultimately is between the baby mama and the man. If you're a woman and you're trying to date somebody that has children, what it comes down to really is how he moves.
Yep.
Around how he moves with you as it pertains to the kids and the kid's mother. Like, how do all of those moving parts like effectively operate without dysfunction?
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think sometimes for some guys and for women too, figuring out co-parenting is a very hard process, especially if there's lingering emotions, right?
Yep.
So as much as we can sit here and be like, well, a lot of women feel entitled to X, Y, and Z, there's a lot of men out here selling dreams.
That part.
So
why be lying? Why y'all be lying?
Because it's easy.
Stop lying.
And they want what they want, and women fall for it, and we give it up. We give it up time and time again.
I mean, as we see,
right,
clearly.
But I do think that sometimes there are things worth working through.
Okay.
But again, if you don't know what your non-negotiables are, you're not gonna know what's worth working through and what's not unless you actually try to work at it. But it goes back to my bottom line, which is you don't really know a person in the beginning.
Right.
So if you seeing some shit, it might just be like, oh, I get it. This is from your past. This is a projection. Oh, there's your mommy issues coming out. Dumb early. Got it. Now I know what things are triggering. Because sometimes as adult people, again, we're all recovering from some level of trauma that we've experienced or witnessed as children. So we don't always know what our triggers are. That's why it's so important to do the work. And I will tell you this: I have a really strong spiritual connection to Pastor Torrey Roberts, who is married to Sarah Jakes Roberts in Los Angeles. Shout out to Potter's House 1 LA. And something that he has always preached about is the balance and the importance of psychotherapy, psychiatric help, and medically prescribed diagnosed therapy, right? And the simultaneous work of faith work and prayer work and spiritual work. You have to be able to prioritize both. I can't speak to pastors who condemn that kind of treatment because I don't follow them and I don't agree with them. But I definitely agree with spiritual leaders who encourage you to take steps, whatever steps you deem necessary, that are still in alignment with your faith. Right. Because there's certain things that you can pray on, but you can pray while you're taking antibiotics. You can pray and I mean, the Bible says faith without works is dead. So if you're not doing the work while simultaneously having faith in God, God will do everything for you that you can't do. But he's not going to do the stuff you can do. So if you can seek help and help yourself in certain situations, like finding a therapist who's a licensed professional to help you, right? You got to do that as well. You got to do both. Healing is a multifaceted process. And I don't think most people are aware, or if they are, they're too lazy or too scared to unpack their shit, which puts them and leads them into situations like this where you feel like you're at rock bottom every time you're in a relationship.
I told you though, so many people are scared of being told they're broken or being told something is wrong with them. Yeah. And even with you bringing up medication, specifically in the Black community, a lot of people don't want to be diagnosed or given medication to be themselves. Right. And a lot of us don't trust the the medical system. So that's a whole nother battle in itself. But I know I talk to a lot of women as well who they feel like their body, something ain't right. And even they fear going to the doctor, because they're not taken serious when they talk about their pain that they're having.
Right.
Or they don't want to be told, so this is what it is and you're never going to be able to have children. Or this is what it is and now you have to go through chemo. Or this is what it is. And like there's just so many fears that we have as well around talking to medical professionals. So I don't fault anyone, specifically in our community. I know that it's getting better with the conversation.
Yeah, but
I don't fault them.
You can address mental health though without being prescribed medication. You don't have to take pills if you need a therapist. That's not those things don't necessarily go hand in hand.
Right.
But I do think that there are resources now, viable resources now, where we can find people within our community that are licensed to do this as well.
Right.
It's not, as much as we say that it's taboo, the resources are still available.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not, thankfully, it's not as frowned upon as going to get an abortion in Texas. You know what I'm saying? You can definitely go to a therapist and try to figure out different ways, different resolutions. Try to come to a resolution about stuff that's your shit.
Yeah.
But in terms of relationships, I think there should be some bumps. I was relieved actually that I hit some of the bumps that I hit early in my relationship, because it forced me to have to figure out if it was my shit, my past shit, or if it was something that was really present in the relationship.
I'll be honest with you too, and I think I told you this, and I'm working through it. Like this last year and a half was my first real relationship.
Right.
So
and you learned a
whole lot. But like the idea that throughout my 20s, I wouldn't consider any of them real relationships. I didn't have to show up for one person as a partner.
Right.
And being a partner does take so much more work than I anticipated. Like it's way more than, just cooking and having sex. And so the idea too that a lot of people downplay the role of a wife or a girlfriend and what it is. No, it's so much more.
Well, that's also why I think so many women overplay their position with men too.
Oh, here you go.
Because it's a lot. It's ingrained in us to overextend and compromise for what's not happening on the other side, right?
Yep.
And again, it goes back to what your non-negotiables are. You got to figure out what those things are. You have to figure out what kind of behaviors work for you and what don't. You have to figure out what triggers you and where the source of that trigger really comes from. Had a whole emotional conversation a couple weeks ago just about the feelings of addressing abandonment and addressing my daddy issues around emotionally not being available for me if I need it, and then constantly putting myself in a position to reaffirm my fear about that. Right? I think that's a cycle that we do in romantic relationships all the time, especially when it comes to having turbulence. Is it really turbulence? Is there really a problem? Or are you really out here on a mission to be right about some shit that's wrong?
Oh, that was deep.
Yeah.
Because we all want to be right. That's why, and that's the thing. Even with arguments,
that's why people say, "Do you want to be right or do you want to be in the relationship?" You don't have to compromise yourself, but sometimes you have to meet yourself.
Right.
You got to know yourself. You got to sit with yourself. You got to know who you are in every moment, and it takes work, whether you're in a relationship or not. So it's kind of like you caught between a rock and a hard place.
And I love that too, because that's what I always say. Like a relationship shouldn't feel like a competition.
No.
If you and your partner are constantly going head to head, and you feel like you have to be the winner or you have to feel right. I know I had this conversation even with my ex. He was like, you use words like lose me or right or like those type of competition words. And he's like, a relationship should never be a competition. And so I share that with y'all now. But yeah, it was very interesting to hear that perspective from it. Like you don't always have to be right. You can just sit in, this is how I feel, this is how you feel, and now we understand each other's feelings, but that's it.
And to go back to Adele, ladies, Adele was married, had some kids, and I still don't know what her kids look like. I don't know who her babies are. I don't know who her ex-husband was. I don't care who her ex-husband is. She making quality music 3 years later. And all of that stuff is her business and behind closed doors.
Where it should stay.
Hello? Somebody.
Hello.
You ladies, you need to prioritize, if you have children, prioritize parenting and taking care of your baby, and prioritize your mental health, your mental and emotional wellness. You have to get to a place where you have that. You have to preserve your peace, because these toxic men out here taking your peace, and we can scream accountability all day long, but at the end of the day, the one person you are accountable to is yourself. And your baby now, if you have a baby. So
that part. Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
I hope that this doesn't continue on Instagram and the Shade Room, but
I hope so too.
I'm sure
I
it
hope
will.
somebody steps in.
Someone has to step in and just shut all that shit down.
Yeah.
You want to get into music?
We can. It's time for Freshly Squeezed. Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
All right. Well, you know me.
That was a good one, right?
It was.
Yeah, you like that?
That's cool.
You like that?
Cool.
You like that?
All right.
Sorry.
All right.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. All right. My bad. I'm working on my ad-libs, girl. I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
Where you want to start this week?
There's
I don't
so
know.
much good music.
There is. Well, you know me. You want to start with hip hop? Well, you have all R&B, right?
I have all R&B.
So
I have all R&B this
let's
week.
start with some hip hop.
Yeah.
Some hippity hop to the hippity hop.
Yeah.
We know that Rick Ross is releasing his album soon. I believe that's what, top of December?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Fourth quarter greatness.
Let's go. And I really, really like the song. I was actually getting ready to this song all weekend in Vegas. It's Outlaws featuring Jasmine Sullivan and 21 Savage.
Love.
So let me play this for y'all because it is just...
You hold the gun, I'll take the will. If you say go, you know I will.
I love her voice.
And though this love has its flaws, we're forever outlaws. Messed around, but I forgave you.
Oh, Jesus.
Why do
You
they
shouldn't
still
have.
want me to hate you? Cause if I'm choosing to forget it, why can't they just mind their business? Cause I'm stuck like glue. Cause I can't stop loving you.
This is DaniLeigh's fault right here.
I wanna see my dogs on the mountaintops. Them niggas only ballin' when they albums drop. I got a line of cars rapping around the block, and living better than these rappers rapping around the clock. I built a golf course and a car porch. Since everybody asking where your car's going, mozzarella now it's only tall cheddar. Most dope boys been a pallbearer. Package the product, then you pick it up back in Bahamas. Talking them dollars, how I touch it, come off as a profit. You leave your pistol on, then you on your own. Cause little one when it's on, they gon' do you wrong. See you nodding off on that fentanyl. If you're not a boss, boy, don't get involved.
Oh, God.
Let's go.
Messed around, but I forgave you.
Yes.
Do they still want me to?
And then, of course, 21 comes in after. But a beautiful
Yes.
song. It's so crazy because after what the whole conversation we just had too, that may be why.
Yeah.
This may be why, though. What Jasmine was singing may be why no one has stepped in.
Right.
Because sometimes as women, we ain't gonna listen to nobody. We know he did me wrong, but I love him and I'm just gonna keep taking him back. And I've been that friend. Like, I've had like friends that have been in abusive relationships that have constantly gone back.
Yeah.
And it's just like, sometimes if you think about it, can't nobody tell you nothing. And you can only be told so much about your partner that you love before you're not even finna go to that friend anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I was that friend. Like, I told my homegirl, if you gonna call me and talk about that nigga, I'm gonna hang up. Call someone else. Because I done told you what I thought.
Yeah.
And you choose to still stay. So it could very well be people have tried to step in and couldn't.
Maybe.
I can pull up Silk Sonic for you if you want to go there.
Oh, I mean,
know
well,
which one I like on that.
I mean, Silk Sonic, we already knew. Yeah.
Yeah, we started last week's pod with Smoking Out the Window.
Yeah.
I love it.
this whole project.
It's actually great, except for Skate, which is why none of us really liked it. So
Yeah, I could have done without that.
So out of 9 songs, I like 8 of them. I was jamming in my shower. I had my little loofah.
Let me see.
Bitch,
Let
I
me
was
see. Let me
picking
see
up
if-
my
let me see
titty,
if the one-
washing up under that thing. I was like, oh, this is giving.
Let me see if this is the one that you loved.
Let me
'Cause
see.
This is definitely the one that I loved.
Oh, that was me, y'all.
Damn.
I know which one I love. Let me see if this was it.
It's just something about you.
Shout out to Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars.
Yes.
Oh, this is... All right, if you're at your desk, sorry if you're getting a hard on. Shit.
Ooh, baby. Now I don't know what you did when you did what you did. But you did it, girl.
You did it, girl.
I
See,
sure
normally I
did.
don't stutter, but you did do it to me.
Wishing on a shooting star, say a prayer for me. I hope it comes true.
I like this. This wasn't my favorite one on the album, but
Yeah.
I like it.
Throw my phone out the window, there's no player in me.
He do a lot of things out the window.
Right.
Those days are over, baby. Wait a minute now.
You put it on me like I never felt before. That gushy, good, girl, I want some more. Sweet, sticky, thick, and pretty.
Ooh.
Change the game.
I do.
After last night, I think I'm in love with you.
All right.
Love with you.
Woke up and I can't get
This was DaniLeigh too. Apparently
was
the baby put that
definitely-
dick on her when
Jesus
she woke
Christ.
up. I'm sorry. That's the only thing that make us act this dumb, bro.
Shout out to no, it's not.
Oh, it's not?
No,
Not the baby legs?
No.
No? The baby legs, do we?
Shout out to James Fauntleroy and D-Mile, of course.
Of course, D-Mile.
Of course.
D-Mile always get a shout out on See the Thing Is.
Of course. Love. And Thundercat, because Thundercat is just a dope. It's just a dope ass artist, man.
All right.
Yeah, Silk Sonic definitely had to shout them out.
For sure, for sure.
The artist that I want to play actually released an album as well. Her name is India Shawn.
We knew you was going to give it to us something new, baby.
Well,
for the freshly.
I played India Shawn's project, the single. Don't Play With My Heart a couple months ago or a couple weeks ago, I guess. And so she dropped the full length project on this past Friday. And I just, man, there's two things I love about India. Number one,
Talk to me.
She's consistent. All of her music is incredibly layered. It's very musical. It's warm. And she works with D-Mile as well.
Can I
so that
ask you
helps.
about consistency? Because I know we had a conversation a few weeks ago on the way to the studio about Alina Baraz.
Alina Baraz.
Whatever.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Bitch, her name is complicated.
All right.
But
5 syllables. 6 syllables.
this is what we're going to do. We're going to do it by syllables.
Alina
Monotony
Baraz.
is only like 3. And we just messed that up.
4.
Oh, is it 4?
It's
Okay.
all right.
Anyways, we had the conversation about how her most recent project sounded completely different.
Yeah.
So
Wasn't a fan.
with you being an artist, do you like an artist to be more consistent, or do you like the artists that try new things? Like, because clearly that's why Drake has been able to stay Drake for the last 10 years. He changes his sound quite often. A lot of artists do. Beyonce does the same. I just want to know, like, what your thoughts are on artists either sticking to consistency or really stepping out of their box and trying new things.
I think when you create a lane for yourself, you can't really stray.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
So like someone like a Beyonce is a hard example because she can sing anything. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
she literally
yeah.
can sing country music, she can sing gospel, she can sing opera, she can sing soul music, funk music, like she can do it all.
Yeah.
So she can literally deliver any genre that she wants to you at any time, because how we know Beyonce is just a worldwide talent, right?
Yep.
So and really immaculate talent at that. So it's tough to try to box her. Someone like an Adele has a very specific lane. She has a very specific voice. You know, I'm not gonna want to hear "Bitch better have my money" from Adele. You know what I mean? I'm not.
Right.
That's not what I'm
It's
going
crazy
to Adele
because
for.
I want to actually play a clip later in the Freshly Squeezed after we listen to some India, but Chloe Bailey just released a snippet of what sounds like one of her new songs, and a lot of people feel that way. Like they're like, give the song to Sweetie.
Oh God.
Pretty much. So I'll play the clip later.
Yeah, so India Shawn dropped her project before we go, and I'm kind of pissed that I didn't know, but she was here. She had a performance a couple days ago with Mayor Hawthorne. She's on tour with him right now, but I'm gonna hit her up. I'm literally hitting her up now on this pod, and I'm gonna text her later because I definitely want to go to her show. When we're in LA in a couple weeks, she'll be in LA as well.
Let's do it.
Would love to do that, and also bring her on the pod at some point whenever that schedule permits. So this is India Shawn, super fine. Really love this joint. I love the lyrics. I'm gonna get into it in a second.
Oh, we get into the lyrics? Yeah. Oh.
This is super fine.
Let me see the song title.
Super fine. This what some of y'all ladies need to be right now.
All your love, it's all I wanted. Was it too much, too soon? Cause that is something, gave me nothing. So there ain't too much to choose. Oh, darling, it's okay, I'm all good either way. Ain't nothing to explain now. I'm a different type, I just know when to get out. Nothing here to find, I'm not crying from the letdown. I ain't got no tears or no time for no playground. I'll be super fine, fine, fine. I ain't heard from you in 5 days.
Oh, that's long, bitch.
That's why I look at you sideways.
I ain't even looking at you no more.
You don't even know why you do all of the shit that you do. But don't even worry, you cleared the air up, gave me space, thanks for making room. Darling, it's okay, I'm all good either way. Ain't nothing to explain now.
This is exactly what we were talking about. Ladies, it is okay to just walk away. Leave them alone.
Because I got one more to play.
That is okay, child. It is okay.
It's okay.
It is okay for you to be super fine without the man that ain't showing up for you how you need him to show up.
Period.
Send him back to the streets.
It's okay, sis. Be super fine. You were super fine before him. You can be super fine after him.
That part.
So, yeah. Shout out to India Shawn for this beautiful record. And, of course, D-Mile, who's just incredible, as always. And there's another joint I wanted to play. Actually came on. I love titles shuffle, like all of the stuff that they play. I'll text it to you now.
Okay. Thanks, friend.
Yeah.
Sharing passwords is a friendly thing.
It is.
It really is.
We're really friends.
I really love that. Yeah. I love that for us.
Yeah, I do too.
I love that for us.
And so I found this artist named Amber Mark, and she has a song called Softly that I want to play for y'all because it's new. I've never heard of her before, but it's refreshing, and I love the vibe. So this is Amber Mark, Softly. And you recognize the sample.
Let's go.
That's Craig David's sample, honey.
I'm sensing heavenly tension. You're sending that type of message. Oh, I want it bad, but I've got requests for you. So tell me, baby, what you gonna do? Tell me what's your plan, yeah. Whisper in my ear.
Alright.
Touch me right there, so soft like cashmere. Yeah, want it bad, but you gotta work for that. It's true, 'cause baby, it ain't really up to you. Oh, you got to love me sweetly. Oh boy, you got to please me softly. Squeeze me, you can't forget to treat me right.
That's it.
Baby, do then, baby, I just might. I just come over and stay the night.
Yes.
It's not that hard, I promise.
It's not hard.
It's not hard.
It's not hard to be good to women. It's not hard.
It's not hard. It's not hard. Why do we make it seem like men just, oh my God, I'm asking for so much. It is not hard for a man to show up for you how you want them to and need them to.
But also, if it's not for
the
you,
right
it's
one
not
will.
for you.
Period.
Yeah, like it meant like for the fellas, it's like, well, she is asking for too much. Well, then you're just too little, and it's okay. Move around.
He's 5'4"? Is that what you said?
No, he has too little.
Oh, okay.
That's all there is.
Oh, he doesn't have enough.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying he was 5'4".
I mean, if y'all didn't learn nothing from Luther, never too much, never too much, never too much.
That part. Girl, the 90s R&B music, I realized I feel like niggas was doing more in the 90s. Bro, when I go back and listen to 90s R&B, They was moving mountains for bitches.
They were crying in the rain.
Like, it was insane.
Jodeci,
in white, in linen.
Jodeci had on leather in the desert.
Like, it is insane what they were doing for us, bro. Now motherfuckers.
Usher was in a V-neck doing spins in puddles for women.
Okay, but wait. He did that after also cheating, right? And having a baby on the way with another woman. So it was a lot.
I mean, it wasn't really his story. It was somebody else's story.
I know, but I'm just, okay, I know.
You know,
shit, girl.
That's okay. You make it, yeah.
I just feel like they was really giving it up and really was way more romantical and shit. Cause they not now. And ain't nobody got time for that. Niggas not even answering your FaceTime. Or responding to your message when the read receipt is on. He saw it, sis. He saw it. It says red at 4:58. It's 7:30. He didn't respond.
Yeah, we don't need to text again.
Fuck. What is wrong with these?
Yeah, nah.
Girl, you better go holler at that friend.
I'm definitely a repeat texter though. I'd be like, oh, you saw that? Great. So while I have your attention.
Look, see?
Oh, it was red? That means you're looking at your phone right now. So let me go ahead and get this paragraph off.
That is toxic.
Let me get this paragraph off since I got your attention. You ain't got to respond. It's cool.
I ain't gonna hold you. My phone currently says 370 unread messages.
No.
Because my read receipt is on, I'm not opening that until my anxiety comes down.
Oh, no.
And then I'll
I don't
answer
do that
it.
with text.
I just don't answer motherfuckers.
Receipts.
I be like, oh, I never even saw it. Cause bitch is there. But you know how it shows you like 3 or 4 words in a sentence? When I see something I don't want to read, oh, nah. I was sleeping. I was busy. It was in another room. I just didn't see it.
Wow.
It's giving me some hours to respond. But I told you, which is crazy. I don't know if I shared this on Patreon, but you know me. Even with business and setting up everything, I've told you, and I'm trying to limit it now too, I hate group chats.
Yes.
I hate text messages.
Yep.
Because we've almost conditioned ourselves for that to be like immediate responses.
Absolutely.
So to me, anything regarding business, here's my email, shoot it over. Right. We could always go back to the thread. You see what I wrote, I see what you wrote. Things just get lost in translation with text messages. But also when people send you a text message, they assume because we are human beings that stay on our phones that, oh, I know she got it because it got sent to her text message and da-da-da. I don't want people to think that they have me at any motherfucking time of day, any time of night, and that they're just going to get a response out of me. So,
I mean, I've gotten to the point now where I'll make it awkward for you. If you tell me that you...
See what I mean?
Oh, I saw it.
Oh, look. And then that's it. Crickets.
Well, what the fuck else? I saw it. I was doing X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. See?
I'm not even like...
Yeah, people make you feel guilty and want to start an argument because you saw text messages and didn't respond.
Like, oh, well, when I text you, and then I saw you post on. Don't confuse my phone. If you're not paying this bill, what I do on my phone is not your business.
That part.
I could be on a Twitter frenzy and you text me, I'm gonna be irritated as hell.
Okay, but
definitely ignore it.
But now we hypocrites because we want the niggas to respond to our text messages.
Oh, I'm only talking about.
Oh, okay. I'm talking about friends. We want them to respond. No. We don't want them to come at us with that response like, "Hey, do you pay this phone bill? No. Don't worry about if I posted something on my story, sis."
But like, in my relationship though, we're like, if we're busy with something and we don't. Like if I'm texting and he doesn't respond to me, I'll catch myself and be like, he's in a meeting right now. He's not looking at his phone.
That part.
And my phone will be
busy.
My phone will be on do not disturb a lot of the time. So now I'm just like, I don't be responding.
That'd be mine.
Yeah.
Girl, I be leaving my shit in another room.
Yeah. I'm trying to do that more.
I do.
I'm really
trying to do that
more.
Especially when I start watching my housewives shows.
Yeah. Okay.
I just leave my phone in the room, charge it so that it's super charged up when I'm done with my show. I did want to, before we get out of Freshly Squeezed, I wanted to play the snippet.
Yeah.
Because I did also want to talk about a lot of the backlash. We talked about it last week, but not on air, regarding Chloe Bailey. But I wanted to play this snippet because...
Wait, backlash? What backlash for what?
Oh, a ton. First off, did you see the thing she said, thank you to all my followers with the lollipop in her mouth?
Oh, yeah, I did.
So she got a lot of backlash over that. And just, coming out as maybe too sexy. And we talked about it briefly, but I wanted to play this clip for you. This is a snippet of an unreleased song from Chloe Bailey called Light Flex. Let's go. She looks beautiful too. I feel like it's not all the way done either. Here we go.
Nothing but little light. Flex. I'm just out here stunting on my ex.
That part.
But little light. Flex. I'm just out here stunting on my ex. I thought I heard a lame nigga say I wasn't gonna blow up.
Hey.
Now he double tapping my picture, seeing my glow up. Nothing but little light.
Let's see, she posted it like this.
Flex. I'm just out here stunting on my ex.
Here we go. Breakdown.
I'm just being honest. I'm just telling true facts. Boys won't pull my dreads, baby. I don't have tracks. All my hoes fly, baby. We don't do that. I just might go live, but throwing it back. Count up racks. I should bet fists and at sex. You know I'm fresh as Ajax. Baby, I'm lit, ain't no match. Only my name on my chest.
So that's a little snippet, light flex from Chloe Bailey.
I'm here for
she
it.
said, you could pull my dreads because I ain't got tracks. I know that's right.
Talk your shit.
Even though the blonde was extensions.
Yeah, but
it was blonde over her dreads, but okay. Talk your shit. I don't know. I love Chloe. A lot of people, of course, want to hear, like we talked about, consistency. She came out as an amazing vocalist with her sister, and I guess people want that from her. They don't want this. So I was reading a lot of the comments, and they were just like, girl, give this to Sweetie and give us some tunes. And I want to know kind of your thoughts, because, of course, Have Mercy also was very...
Yeah, I loved Have Mercy.
I love Have Mercy too, girl. And then when I tell you, they played it in Vegas everywhere. Oh, my God. The pool, the lobby, the spa, everywhere played fucking Have Mercy.
See, I feel the opposite way. I like what Chloe's doing. I want to see the more artistic stuff though. Like a lot of what we see now, it's we went from really, really wholesome Chloe and Halle music and image to now, young woman, grown woman,
right?
Chloe. You know what I mean? With confidence in who she is and her body and her sexuality and her sensuality.
Yeah.
And
I like
she's
it.
owning it. And I love that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think for an audience though,
it's just a lot.
If we're only ever seeing that, at least like I want it to be artistic. Like the way that we love the WAP video, right? We love the WAP video because of the hair and the nails and the wardrobe and the scenery. Like
it's what we say we like about Doja Cat too.
What we love about Doja Cat. And I love that about Saweetie does stuff like that too, right? And I mean, Saweetie doesn't put out music that I'm necessarily listening to.
Same.
So, but to see her, you know what I mean, do creative things like with her Halloween costumes.
She's doing great.
With her Catwoman, you know what I mean? I would love to see that from Chloe. I don't think she's doing anything wrong. I think when you look at artists, right? And artists who feel like they've grown with you, they're growing with you, they want to continue to feel like they're still a part of your process.
Right.
And I think the reason people object to, well, for one, society and people in general love to tell women what to do with their bodies, but that's
that part.
Neither here nor there. The minute we start telling men, well, I mean, in order for your opinion to matter, we have to see how big your dick actually is.
Ooh.
If we started telling men that,
can we do? we should do that.
A lot of men would be very fucking quiet.
That part.
So
well, no, but they also lean like where they lack in their pants. A lot of them make up for in their pockets.
It's true.
That just is what it is. And so a lot of men, when they're brainwashed to almost feel as though they have to be their protector, provider, that provider part makes it to where they only base their value on the money they make and how they can show up to provide.
Right.
So
what I'm saying is, in terms of the control over the bodies and how they're valued, people love to tell women what they can and can't do with their bodies. And I think going back to Chloe's audience, I think the audience that loved seeing her be this phenomenal talent with her sister in the very beginning, to then, we're watching two young women grow up really fast in real time, and her younger sister is in The Little Mermaid and she's shaking her ass on late night television. There's a little bit of a disconnect, and it's not wrong. There's nothing wrong or bad about it. I think that it happened very quickly, and for people that really loved, what they were getting from her before, they just got to catch up now. It's like, I hate when people say it's too much. The too much thing is really frustrating, because it's almost like, we pick and choose who we want too much from. It's like we'll say that we don't want, Doja Cat's a great example.
Yeah.
We love watching Doja Cat. We think that she is a phenomenal performer. She's a great writer.
Which is crazy because she's only 2 or 3 years older than Chloe Bailey. which is another thing. Like Chloe Bailey's 23 years old. Doja's 26.
I thought Doja was a little older than that. No,
She's not. I think she's young. Hold on, y'all know we ain't got a scream in yet. Hold on.
I mean, 3 years apart is still
26.
Yeah, it's nothing at all. But I also think that there is something to be said about the artistic evolution that we've watched from Doja as well. We just don't know Chloe the way that she wants us to know her yet.
Right.
And that's up to her. And I think as fans and as audience, we need to grant her the grace to figure out what parts of herself she wants to show in her time. Because keep in mind, before she was shaking her ass on late night television and everywhere else on the internet, she was performing cover songs better than some of the artists that made the songs.
Sure was.
And posting those videos on her Instagram and on YouTube. Yep. So she was giving y'all the music that you wanted. She was giving y'all the vocals. So she giving y'all the vocals, and now she giving you a crazy amount of choreo in a short amount of time.
Yep.
And y'all still upset. I ain't
gonna lie. You already know what I believe. You ain't gonna please everybody.
Right.
And that just is what it is.
Right.
Like, that's why I don't sit and go down the fucking threads on Reddit or like, there's gonna be people who don't like us. There's gonna be people who fuck with us.
Right.
And a lot of the people that fuck with us, we interact with them all the time.
The lollipop video to me was just trolling. That just
I think she was trolling. I think she was trolling as well. I think she was trolling as well. Well, I want to get into real quick the shit that we do not care about.
Oh my goodness.
And we got some good ones. I could start with my two. I have food and a podcast this week. I don't know what you want to add to it, but let's get into the shit at motherfucking Subway, y'all. Now, clearly this podcast is not sponsored by Subway because, baby, what I'm about to tell you is a little embarrassing. Which, by the way, were you aware that they also just went through some lawsuit because there was material from yoga mats found in their bread?
What?
Yes. Look, you ain't know that? Hold on. Now I got to pull that up. Hold on before I get into it.
Wait, Drew, you knew that? No?
Did you know that, Rob? Hold on. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up.
I was like, wait, what? First of all, how do you know what material from yoga mats tastes like or looks like?
Look, yoga mat bread Subway pops right up. So Subway, actually wasn't also the only chain to use yoga mat material in its bread. Let me see. Oh, it is azodicarbonamide. I'm probably
sorry,
killed
what?
that.
You probably did.
What? Read this word out loud, man. With your big word having ass.
Azodicarbonamide.
There we go. So that is also found in yoga mats, and they ended up finding out that it was in the breads as well at Subway. This was actually a lawsuit that took place in 2014, actually. But it says that they have gotten rid of it. Actually, according to Bloomberg, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, Wendy's, White Castle, and Jack in the Box also used the chemical back in their breads in 2014, but have since got rid of it entirely. So what I'm about to share with you guys is a little alarming. Of course, I'm only sharing it because I'm laughing at y'all pussy hoes for not just making this shit at your own house because you probably spending triple what it is. But a lawsuit states that a new lab analysis detected pork, chicken, and cattle DNA in Subway tuna sandwiches. That's right. Y'all were not eating anything from the sea. In fact, it was a whole ass land sandwich that y'all were eating.
That's gross.
So a study published by the New York Times revealed there were actually no traces of tuna found in Subway's tuna sandwiches. But laboratory specialists couldn't quite put their finger on what was in the fish.
Laboratory.
It is laboratory.
You sound like Dexter.
I know. Laboratory. I used to love Dexter, bitch.
Dexter's Laboratory.
Yes.
Good cartoon.
Very good cartoon. By the way, before we get to TV, Big Mouth, new season is out.
We need to get Mandii on Big Mouth.
Please, I want to be a hormone monster.
Mandii is a hormone monster.
I am.
In real life.
But basically, yes, a new version of the lawsuit is actually accusing of Subway completely deceiving the public, which it says its tuna sandwiches actually contain chicken, pork, and cattle. To me, this is unfortunate because do you know how many people I know that do not eat pork?
Yeah.
Like, also for those of you who do not know, there's religious reasons, but also just people don't want to put certain things in their bodies, which is why I laugh at this. Y'all was out here eating motherfucking Subway sandwiches thinking it was tuna, but won't go get the vaccine. Okay, because you thought it was tuna. Okay, look at y'all eating shit not knowing what was in it, but you won't get the vaccine though. But we said we ain't gonna talk about the vaccine on this show.
Correct.
So I ain't gonna come at y'all pussy assholes, but y'all was out here eating pork, cattle, and chicken, thinking it was a motherfucking
yoga mats. And meanwhile, they trying to right. I mean, if you're not going to do yoga, at least you could eat a yoga mat, I guess.
Don't do that. Stop it, because people did think they was going to Subway being healthy, but I'm gonna let y'all know now.
That's like people that go to McDonald's and then not McDonald's
and get a salad.
No, that McDonald's salad is bomb actually.
Oh, okay.
No, it's like going to Pizza Hut and you order a bunch of pizza and then you get Diet Coke, girl.
Oh yeah, what are you doing?
Girl.
What are you doing,
girl?
0 calories, please.
There's no sugar in it.
Okay. Faces. The other thing that I did not care about this week was part 2 of the Kanye West and Drink Champs interview. It was a lot more rambling than anything.
Hat on a hat. You could have just left it at the first one. We putting a hat on a hat.
Yeah,
now.
He also was very hypocritical. And I know I say we're all hypocrites, but he went from talking about how rappers are used by politicians and all of these things, and then really went and said, yeah, and even Trump said, when I came to the White House, I raised his black approval rating by 40%. Sir, so you're being used too, but it's okay when you're used by the Republican, but you want to just shit on the Democrats. He he was very political in the second part.
That's what Republicans do.
And
what's not okay, it's do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, and then what else I'm not going to bring up, anything regarding Larry Hoover. Just not even going to touch it.
We're not going to talk about it.
Not going to talk about it.
Nope.
I'm not one of them street bitches anyway. I already told you, I'm not a ride or die. If you get locked up, I'm not coming to see you. I'm not writing you. So I'm not talking about anything that involves the streets here on this podcast. We're going to say giving y'all relationship advice based on the baby. Okay?
That's right.
Well, I did want to play, however, one snippet.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was very interesting. He got into talking about his wife, Kim, and her influence on women. And he feels as though men in high powers are keeping her from passing the bar because of what her influence will shift in women to come. And I wanted to just play this and get your take on it. If y'all can listen to this.
It's 14-year-old girls, 17-year-old girls that's posing a little bit. They want to become a lawyer. She affects people in that way. And it's people that don't want her to affect these women in that way. They want her to affect them in that other way. And they could put a lawyer that give you all the right things and just enough wrong things that you just miss your test by this much. You get them next time. And it just so happened that God had me here, because I see the smallest thing. But when I see somebody move their hat like this from over there and be like, you know what I'm saying? So I heard.
Basically what he was saying here is he feels as though the lawyers that are being helped to study with Kim for her California bar are really teaching her just enough for her to not pass the exam. And he was saying that it's because then the girls will start covering up more. And he like made this huge parallel, which I didn't agree with at all. I don't know. I know he also spoke to Kim Kardashian being the reason women want curves now and stuff like that. And I know that she is, but it's the black woman. Like, let's get it clear. Kim K was not the first to have an ass, but
no, she didn't have an ass. She bought an ass.
We
said this last week.
That part.
We definitely said this last week.
But I'm
like,
just
we know the origin. It's all right. We get it.
But I'm just saying, as far as I don't know, everything in the second interview, it was just a lot. It wasn't giving what I think he wanted it to give. However, the numbers are there, so I do want to give a congratulations to Nori and Drink Champs on what they deem as the interview of the year for sure. It just wasn't good to me. Did you listen to it at all?
No.
Yeah.
I had enough. One part was enough. We didn't need to. It was Captain Obvious. We didn't need, it was just, it's redundant. I mean, and I really do believe that, again, he has some incredible wisdom and incredible knowledge to impart.
Yeah.
And I pray that he continues to share it in whatever capacity he can to the best of his ability. I hope that the listeners can still see the forest through the trees and be able to distinguish between the stuff that is really meaningful and impactful and should be meaningful and impactful, and the stuff that is just his ego, just capping.
But it's not only ego. It's crazy because when we talk about him as a narcissist, I had a really interesting conversation this week. Because most narcissists believe in themselves and that's it. And what's crazy is listening to him, the validation he seeks is beyond. It's like you can't sit here and know that you're this amazing, and yet all you do is keep seeking validation. And what was interesting is how he talks down on rappers so much, but literally coming up, that's all he wanted to be acknowledged as. He was a producer that didn't get the shine that necessarily he felt like he deserved until he was an artist. He was like, no, I'm a rapper, I'm an artist.
Right.
And he worked so hard to get out of that producer label that now it's like, oh, but now I'm more than a rapper. I'm this, but now it's because he's around all of these white people and the Elons and the designers. And so now he wants to be seen as a fashion mogul. And all he's doing his entire life, he just seems to be seeking validation from all of these groups of people. When I'm listening to him, it's like, but are you not fulfilled? And I'm thinking about it because it's just like, as a person, how do you like live life fully just trying to be accepted by all of these groups of people? Like, and that's literally what he's done from just being a bomb ass producer, from being, yes, you're a great designer, but all he does is yell out, but no one is accepting me. No one gives me my flowers. I'm better than all. And it's just like, okay, if you are, then you are. You're fucking a billionaire 9 times.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're still almost, you still seem miserable because you're still seeking the validation from the white man or from an Elon Musk or from the tech people or from the fashion world. And it's just like, at what point are you just going to be satisfied and content with what you've been able to accomplish in your life without seeking constant validation?
But I mean, that's the narcissism part of it.
Is that what that is? I thought narcissists knew they were just great.
No. He believes that he's great. That's why he needs everyone to acknowledge it.
Okay.
Whether or not people don't agree with him doesn't stop him from going on tirades about how great he is.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
It's like there's people who are really insecure who seek validation because without it they feel like nobodies. Those are the people that are thirsty for attention and clout. Kanye doesn't need attention or clout.
The narcissist
he doesn't need it. The ego does.
The ego does. Gotcha.
The ego needs that attention. The ego needs for the people that the name drops that he has and people that he's in conversations with to acknowledge his genius, to acknowledge his influence. And so I think that's I'm just not. Again, I just hope that the people listening and are receiving what he says can still distinguish between the stuff that is important, the stuff that is urgent around, taking care of each other, of our communities, of putting God first. I think those things are important, but I also think there's a,
Bitch, I tried to put Jesus first last week.
No, that's not how that went down. Okay.
I thought I was. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It wasn't giving.
You was trying to get on your knees and
don't do that and repent
and get some wafers.
Yes, them wafers are good. But anyway, what did you not care about this week? Before we get into TV, because we missed out on TV last week.
I mean, what did I not care about this week?
Everything.
I did not care about anything. You know what I don't care about this week? The weather changing and daylight savings. You know what? I'm hearing people complain a lot about how it gets dark early. I'm fine with that because I'm in my house. Actually
we were outside last week.
We were outside
and it was dark.
Two nights. But both nights that we went out were late. It was like late-ish, so it wasn't bad.
Bitch, I'm complaining. I was in Vegas at the pool at the Cosmo, and bitch, 4:30.
Yeah.
Sun was gone.
Really?
At 4:30. 4:30. Close.
But it was still
the pool
80
closed
degrees.
at 5.
I would not have complained.
It was 80 degrees. It was 80 degrees.
I would not have complained for shit if it was 80 degrees.
It was 80 degrees.
You could take the sun at 4:30. I'm gonna be outside the whole time that it's 80 degrees, and then if you want to take the sun, go ahead.
I wasn't mad. Well, let's get into then some quick TV.
Yeah, you finally watched The Harder They Fall.
I did.
Let's talk about it.
What's there to say?
What?
I mean, it just was cute.
What?
You
didn't like it?
It was all right.
Wow.
It was all right. Like, I saw what they were trying to give.
The monologues, Regina King's monologue.
Yeah.
About the story about her sister.
I knew it wasn't that good only because it took me 2 sittings to watch it. Like, I fell asleep on the first sitting.
Oh yeah, no, you're.
It was first off, it was long.
I'm disappointed.
I did
surprised.
like, and mind you, I do like films like this. Like I like old Western like films like, and we talked about it before the show, and y'all could drag me if you want, because I know a white man did it, but Django was better. I love Django, and I don't know what Jamie Foxx, Leonardo DiCaprio, come on.
Delroy Lindo, Lakeith Stansfield, Regina King, Idris Elba, Jonathan Majors, Zazie from ATL. Like, this was a star-studded cast.
It was. And it was star-studded, but I wasn't.
And very well written and very well acted. That scene at the end between Idris and Jonathan.
I was going to say, which was crazy.
Incredible.
That was my favorite scene.
Incredible.
So the fact that my favorite scene was the ending and it was a 2-hour plus movie took me a long time to get to my favorite part of the movie. Like, that was probably the best part of the movie was the ending. And then I was like, thank God it's over now. No, I'm just playing. But the ending was really good. I thought the monologue between the two men, spoiler alert, finding out their connection, them going back and forth, and him also seeking revenge for his whole life and having the opportunity to, and he almost had to ask for it. Like, this is what you want, right? Like, and he almost couldn't at the moment because of the connection. I did. I enjoyed the ending. Damn. That's about it.
That's definitely disappointing.
And then went right back to my Housewives, baby.
I've watched it twice. Invasion is good on Apple. Apple has the best shows of the year for me. I'm not even gonna hold you.
You have been saying that. I need that login too.
They have a new.
You gave it to me.
I did. They have a new. They have a new show with Paul Rudd and Will Ferrell called The Shrink Next Door, and it's brilliant.
Oh wait. If we're talking about brilliance,
yes,
we didn't share with them the comedy special that we watched together.
Oh my God.
We had to tell y'all before we get out of here.
Wow.
Because we're like 2-3 weeks late on this, on not sharing this.
We are. And I've watched it again since then.
When I tell y'all,
or at least had it on in the background.
If you like stand-ups, and I know we done fucking dragged for filth and we're sick of talking about the Dave Chappelle stand-up and all that, but we came across a stand-up during one of our Sunday dinners, and we laughed the entire time. It was brilliant. It was like the way he folded his story, his storytelling capabilities. Do you remember?
Ricky Velez.
There we go.
Ricky Velez is brilliant.
So good. What is that, HBO Max?
HBO Max, yes.
Yes.
His stand-up is great. And he's a kid from Queens, man. And he just has really incredible comedic timing. Some of it is a little bit dark. I recommended it to my trainer actually, and he was really triggered because there is a segment in there where he talks about not needing old people because old people are obsolete, and it's not really funny. So I mean, like to people that might have.
Funny.
Well, I'm saying it's not funny to people that have, like, my trainer lost his grandparents to COVID, so he's looking like, no, there is 100% purpose
for old people.
For old people, like, don't, and it was triggering. So
I mean, I'll be honest with you.
Trigger warning if you're a parent and you don't like someone commenting about kids or whatever. Like,
fuck them kids,
right?
But also,
it's comedy. So if you're hypersensitive and you feel like you're hyper woke, don't watch it.
Well, I was also going to say that recently, I've been to quite a few stand-ups. Like I went and supported Reezy.
Shout out to Reezy.
One
of our friends with benefits.
She opened up for us for Horrible Decisions at Sunday Hall, but she and her co-host Sid host the Knitting Factory in Brooklyn. And when I went with my homegirl Latasha, and we're listening, and the amount of jokes right now on not only, of course, the trans community, the LGBTQ community, being in the closet, but suicide, because so many of them are bringing the comedy that they wrote during the pandemic to the stage. Literally, me and her were like looking at each other like, okay, this person was definitely suicidal. And it's not being received, but it's been multiple shows that I've gone to that the comedy is really dark right now.
Yeah.
It's really, really dark. It's definitely not lighthearted. And I know that we just went through a whole fucking pandemic and we're still amidst the pandemic. I mean, from what they're saying, we're supposed to hit probably a big recession crash in January. That's why you guys are seeing the gas prices go up.
Yep.
Apparently, they're about to have to print so much money that it's going to make our dollar not be a goddamn thing. And of course, global warming is still a thing. And I mean, the housing market.
Yeah.
I mean, I am also looking. I don't know if you guys are into the housing market, but Zillow got caught off of that TikTok. And so they're now having to sell a lot of the houses that they were buying up, especially in Atlanta.
Right.
So if you guys look up what Zillow was doing during the last year and a half, what they were doing is like buying a house next to another house and then marking this house up so that this house's value rose and then would sell.
Right.
Like, and they were literally doing like playing with houses and like
playing with the market,
making dumb money off of it.
Right.
And then they did get caught. So they're like furloughing, if that's even a word for
furlough is.
Yeah, there we go. A lot of the houses that were in their system.
I don't know if that's the word for that. I think
maybe not. Furlough is let go, right?
I guess foreclose. I think is it first foreclose?
No, it's not foreclose. They wouldn't foreclose their own houses. They're like releasing it back to the market. Like they're selling it at regular market price.
Oh.
Or what the price was that they purchased this. Some shit like that.
Well,
let me see. Did we get to where?
Speaking of comedy, though, something I did not care about. Well, something I care about that other people shouldn't care about because we were talking about hypersensitive people. Affion Crockett had a stand-up. I saw. A Karen got up and decided that she was going to take over the show and express her
because she was offended.
Yeah, express her feelings of being offended in the middle of the show. And I really
the white privilege.
I would implore. I just at this point, you know, the beauty of the First Amendment really just ensures that you can say what you want to say, but also you can go somewhere else if you don't want to be there.
That part.
Like you don't have to be there, right? Like we can censor what we want to see and what we don't want to see. We can filter those kinds of things out. And if you don't like something, you could just leave.
Period.
I've definitely been to a comedy show.
We just talked about that with relationships.
And gotten up
and
and left.
If you don't like it, just leave.
If you don't like it, just leave. It's
just
okay.
leave. If you don't like a show, turn it off.
Yeah.
If you don't like listening to us, stop coming on our Instagram, leaving comments like, oh, y'all are still a thing. You clearly checking for us, boo. Right. You clearly checking for us. So don't be spending time.
And you could keep checking. It's okay.
You can keep doing it.
You could definitely keep checking.
You can definitely keep giving us those streams. Thanks.
But yeah, I don't care if people don't. And that was something that I think I've learned. And it's an evergreen that I want us to get to, a topic I want us to dive into when we have more time. But just understanding the importance of being liked by people that like you.
Ooh.
I would rather be liked than be seen. I think that's contributed to a lot of why I have not, passed the threshold of celebrity, if you will, is because I didn't want to be celebrity and be famous by any means necessary.
Right.
I wanted to be known for the right shit.
I know that's right.
And so I think that I would rather be liked and respected than just be widely known and seen everywhere. You know what I mean? It doesn't equate to much for me.
Oh yeah, I want wealth, not fame.
I mean,
but we talked about that too with wealth.
Yes, right. Both are cool, but yeah, man, I don't care about people that don't like things. If you go to somebody's show, I don't care if you paid for it. You paying to see somebody's show does not give you the liberty.
Yeah. I agree.
And the right and the entitlement to speak out against something unless they're being so, blatantly offensive, making everybody visibly uncomfortable. That's a different situation. But if you're purchasing a show for someone's comedy show, 9 times out of 10, you know what you're going to watch. And if you don't, and you find out halfway through it ain't for you,
then just get up and walk.
Please exercise your right to leave. Like, it's totally okay. That was something that I did want to mention that we didn't care about. Something else on TV. The morning show. I don't know if y'all watch the morning show, but Southside.
Oh,
season
I told you.
2
it's out
back.
I know that's right.
Baby.
Southside is so good.
Southside is a phenomenal show. It's on HBO.
And Hulu too, I believe.
And Hulu.
Yep.
Please watch Southside. It is a really incredible, just comedic show. Kind of slapstick comedy. I'm a fan. I'm really a fan.
It's dry. To me, it's that dry. It's the humor of The Office, but an all-black cast.
Yes.
Is what I get from it.
Yes.
It's that dry humor, but for us.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. It's giving Atlanta, but in Chicago.
Yeah. Have you watched Insecure? Have you gotten caught up on the season? Not really?
Yes. Episode 3, I think. So I didn't see this last one. But I did watch the one with Condola and Lawrence. And I thought it's so strange because Insecure was a comedy. I believe it came out as a comedy. And the topics that Issa is touching on are really deep now. Like, she's really getting into her bag of real issues that I think a lot of people can relate to. So I thought it was really interesting to see Condola wanted to be a mother, and you could tell.
Yeah.
And kind of pushed Lawrence and was like, well, you don't have to be a father. And there's now that struggle with, he really wants to show up as a father.
Yeah.
And so watching it was hard.
Well, now showing up, the part that I struggle with,
right? Because he didn't the whole pregnancy.
Well,
clearly,
we didn't see it.
Right,
we didn't see any of that. Right? She threw a couple jabs in their exchanges around the fact. Well, what happened to just keep me posted?
Yep.
So clearly, it's like he wasn't around for the Lamaze classes if she was going to them.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
The ultrasounds,
none of the doctor's visits. So he wasn't really present, it seems like. But we don't know because none of that stuff was really shown.
Right.
But you get the sense that there's a little bit of resentment and animosity coming from her. What I loved about that episode, though, was the way that it was shot, right? There's that scene towards the end.
Where it's a split
screen and you're watching Lawrence live his single, successful, professional life.
Yep.
You know, fucking a random girl. You know what I mean? And then Condola's over here falling asleep, sitting on the top of the toilet seat, just waiting for the baby. You know what I mean?
For the baby to start crying. Yeah.
Right, because she doesn't want to go lay down. Like it was just such an incredible.
It was shot beautifully for sure.
It was an incredible way to look at, and like we said, to look at the difference between what those first few months of development and nurturing and parenting really look like for the mother versus for the father if he's not consistently present in that space.
I agree.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, this last episode, and you'll have to watch it. I'm not going to spoil it for y'all. But I like that she is now highlighting, because in the last season we find out that Kendrick is
bipolar.
Kendrick's character is bipolar.
Yes.
Nathan is his name on the show. I always call him Kendrick. Sorry.
Sorry.
Him in real life.
This subtle flex is brought to you. Sorry that you just know him.
Sorry that I just know him. No. But his character was diagnosed by bipolar last season.
Yes.
And so, him sharing that and now us getting to know him better in that space. This episode really touched on that as well. I think it was really great.
It just sucks too because he did open up about his mental health battle.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact that she almost was using Nathan as well as a rebound and then just burst into tears in bed with him.
I don't even think she was using him as a rebound. I don't think she knows grappled. Yeah, I just
where she wants to be.
I think we all as people, which I love, this is the humanity about this show that I really appreciate, is that a lot of times we don't know how upset we are by something or by how disturbed our peace is until we actually sit down and try to have peace. Because she clearly, as soon as she, we jumped from, I don't think I can do this, to, her ending things with Lawrence, to then her jumping right back into work, right? Which is what we all do. We fill our spaces with distractions. Work is still a distraction. And so doing all of that, she probably had no idea how exhausted she was emotionally until she lay down with someone she really trusts. And it's like, oh shit, like I really don't have it together as well as I thought I did. You know what I mean? I am tired. I am grieving, right? I am sad about whether it's the relationship ending or just, not being where she wants to be professionally. I think all of those things kind of came to the surface for her and she just couldn't control it. She just had to release. But
yeah, I like where she's going.
But I do think there is some beauty in understanding that everybody's not built for that type of unloading. Like everyone's not built for that, being that support person. A lot of people don't have it to be there for other people.
You're right.
They don't know how. Not because they don't care, they just don't know how. I think with men, that's more often the case than with women. I think women will try because we want to be the go-to. We want to be the support person.
But we're nurturers.
We're nurturers by default. But I think for some men, it's kind of, it's not always the initial response. It's kind of like.
But also that's the thing. He was trying to show up for the baby, not for Condola.
Oh, Lawrence. I was talking about
I'm getting
Nathan.
back. I'm getting back to even Lawrence now though. Like that's the thing. Like
but he wants to show up for the baby on his terms.
Which is a problem. Yeah, I noticed that too.
Which was kind of like, you bought a crib and you got all this shit in your apartment.
And now you think you're dad of the year.
Yeah.
Well, I was getting that too.
I'm entitled to, you're entitled to what exactly? Like, you're not here. You moved, you took a job. You know what I mean? It's very
right.
Interesting.
It was very interesting. And like I said, I haven't gotten into it yet, but definitely want to get into Big Mouth. And eventually we're going to have someone on this couch to join me to talk about Real Housewives.
We will.
But Real Housewives of Potomac, part 2 just came out.
Is it the reunion yet, or it's just
the reunion? Part 2 of the reunion.
Okay.
And I'm all caught up with Beverly Hills, so I'm just getting into the 4-part reunion for Beverly Hills.
Got you.
And I'm excited about Atlanta because there's going to be some new girls and old girls back in town. So I'm excited. Y'all know I love Housewives, but can't get geeky and nerdy on Housewives
I'm so
with
sorry.
Bridget.
And it's no judgment. I just have PTSD, reality TV PTSD.
We know.
I watch it and I'm like, no, don't let her beat you. And I just be like, man, it's. Yeah.
I love it. I love the drama. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. I'll save the tech talk for next week.
Yes.
Because I've been looking up a lot of things in tech lately, and I'm excited to share with you guys. I get a little geeky. No, it's not a video game. But I got this song that we'll ride out to, just because.
What are we getting at?
Why not?
Hypnotize minds. UGK. 3-6 Mafia. Another classic, baby. Put some south in your mouth. Going down.
That's how we do it.
My bitch a choose it.
Never ever fuck without a rub. So this was also at the Speakeasy when I was in Vegas. But I want to thank y'all for listening to us. Shout out to HMD, our home here at our studio. Rob, Deb, our all-woman team post-production. Let's go.
We love
thank
y'all.
you guys all. And again, join our Patreon. Patreon.com/See the Thing Is Pod.
Yeah.
What else we got?
And keep sending us notes and comments and stuff. We really appreciate it. I know we had some audio issues last week with, on the video and stuff like that. So we're definitely going to be way more on top of that. You know, we're in a new studio, new team, new squad. Everybody is professional. Everybody is amazing at what they do.
But can I tell y'all the hiccups over the last 2-3 weeks?
No, they haven't been that bad. They haven't been that bad.
Shit.
We're blessed and highly favored.
Okay, we're blessed. This is Kumbaya, bitch, here. It was we were drowning, bitch. But we were swimming. We was swimming. We was coming to the surface. And we here.
You would definitely drown if you swim like that.
All right.
We love y'all, man.
All right.
We'll see you next week.
See y'all next week. Damn. I can't get up like that.
No.
I'm $1 million Mac, they need $1 billion bitch. Put my pimpin' in your life. Watch your daddy get rich. Easy as ABC. Simple as 1, 2, 3. Get down with UGK. Pipsy B, you with me.